Welcome back to the channel. This week we're gonna do whittling. I am going to make a Viking. This is a 4-inch piece, 4-inch long piece of basswood. And at the moment I am whittling back the front of his head back to this first guideline. Then I have to whittle back the back of the head to this guideline to make room right in here for his horns, which will be, he has a helmet on and the helmet has horns coming out of it. So we're roughing in the head, roughing in the boots. This is the front, this is the rear. And as I said, at this moment in time, we are working on roughing back the head to get the horns, a place for the horns to set up. This is where the helmet is, of course, the top where his horns are going to be. I have to carve in his face. This doesn't have a lot of detail, so I just got a nose, and then this area, and here's where his eyes are going to be, and this will all be beard. I don't want to do anything else up here until I'm ready to start shaping them more, because I don't want those to break. And then I have to go around the back here and put the helmet in here. It'll come down here, in here, so I have to do stop cuts there. And his back of his shoulders are a little higher than the front of his shoulders, or keeping that back side higher. And like I said, he's not going to have a lot of detail on his head. This is all going to be beard down here. This is his nose. And this will be the top part of his helmet where his face is going to go back in there. So maybe I'll do the stop cut on those right now. This side seems to be a little higher yet than this side. So we're still digging down there trying to get that helmet right. Bring down that chest. Don't want to do too much on the helmet at one time because I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't want to have so much of it gone that I can't recuperate. So this front part, this is where I should actually because this is, again, this is his nose, and this is where his eyeballs are going to be. This will be beard. And I do have to put a mustache on him. And that needs to come down more. It's too flat. I know those look like rabbit ears. I still got plenty of material. But a little because I've never done, well, I have done a Viking, but and my pattern is a little, I've already deviated from what they had there. It's true. Still got to go further here. I think I'm going to get my gouge out. I can see it's time to strap my knife. Getting a little carried away there. Getting chomped up. Not good. All right, let's drop my knife. working on the nose. I am not going to get this done today, and I have to get the video posted for tomorrow. So I'm going to continue to carve this nose in deeper. This was a mistake not having my gloves on. Got to be careful. I don't want to cut the nose off. And as I cut this nose in deeper, it will give more feature to the face. And I'm going rather slow on this only because I've never done, well, I have done a Viking before. Hang on, let me show you the Viking I did a couple years ago. I forget where I got this pattern from. You know, he's okay. Carved his sword. This guy's gonna have his hands in his pockets for this one. And I also made his shield. You know, it wasn't bad. Kind of the same principle with the helmet. You can see I liked how it peaked at the upper part there. I don't know if I got enough on this one to do that or not, but yeah, you know, all in all, he's not bad. He was one of my first, not first, this was from years ago when I first started doing whittling, and then I just kind of got away from it. Not exactly sure why. It was a metallic paint I used for that. So anyway, maybe I'll leave him over there for inspiration. So yeah, I'm going to continue on carving in the nose. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this a little slower because the pattern that I'm using, I'm not exactly sure. This is coming back like this and coming down, and this is going to go up. That's going to be this side of his helmet. And then it comes around the back, and all that makes sense to me, the whole helmet part here. But then they have this other line here, which doesn't make any sense to me unless they were just trying to make that his hair. And if they are trying to make that his hair, I am just going to make his hair, you know, this long. Just let it be here. So I have to decide on that. And of course, again, does anybody remember the cartoon, The Tick? It was from the late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, that's what these horns on his helmet right now look like to me. Every time I look at him, I think of that cartoon, The Tick. It was popular right about the time that the Rugrats was popular. So yeah, that makes me laugh. But anyway, so yeah, we got to recarve in because when I was starting his nose here, I flattened his face back out. And I want his nose to be deeper than that. The pattern that I'm using, I mean, he's got a schnoz out there, but I don't think I'm going to go that deep. Anyway, so now I'm going to go back in, and this all here will be, this will be mustache here. So I have to carve that back in, and then this is all going to stay beard. And maybe I'll make a little indentations for his eyes. I don't think I am going to paint him in. But so that will be his eyes. This will all be mustache. So there's not a whole lot of facial features besides the beard. This is all going to be beard, his eyeballs. Maybe make his helmet come down just a smidge more. And then decide what I'm doing back here with the hair. And of course I got to put his hands in and shape him. Cut out his boots. Give him a little tushy-wushy back here. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to get this done this week, so you're going to have to check back in next week for the exciting conclusion and how I paint them. But I did want to mention that I finished the sock, the first sock. I started on the second sock, and I'll show that to you here momentarily. Here I started the second sock. This is the 30 rounds of the Knit One, Purl One ribbing. And this morning I started doing the green, and that'll be like 90 rounds of that. And let me show you the sock. Very thin, very nice, and I'll show it to you on my foot here in a second. And here is the sock completed in the background of the frozen tundra of Northeast Ohio.